Okay, رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you this amazing mathematical perfection in the Quran. It's such an amazing miracle. You're gonna see just like you see any other miracle or magic happening in front of you. But now, since we don't have any more prophets coming, you can see a dead coming to life in front of you, or and see something extraordinary happening, right? But you can actually see this in this book. What I'm going to show you right now is a miracle, in fact. So what I have in front of me is it's a website known as tanzeel.net, where you can where I'm going to show you this miracle. Of course, you can verify this yourself. The name Noah, the prophet Noah, is known as Nuh in Arabic. What I'm going to do is type Nooh here and copy this word Nuh from here. I'm going to copy it and paste it here, right? I've pasted it right here. Subtracted the word Nuhi because it will search this. It will search any word that contains these three letters. So I'm going to subtract this word, which is not the name of Noah, and we get exactly how many? 43 results. Now, start. Get ready to get mind blown. This is the first miracle. You have exactly 43 times the name Noah, Prophet Nuh, is mentioned in the Quran, right? Now, if you go to Quran.com, see you got chapter number 71, which is the chapter named Nuh, right? The chapter of Noah. It has 28 verses, right? Now I'm going to go to calculator here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type and Google 71 minus 28, and what do I get? I get 43. Guess what? Exactly 43. That's the number of times the name Noah is mentioned. The number you get when you subtract the number chapter number the chapter number of the chapter Noah, subtract minus the word number of verses, which is 28. 71 minus 28, you get exactly 43. But that's the first thing. The second thing is just gonna blow your mind away. Now let's see how many chapters does this name occur in, right? We're gonna cut this here in green that you can see here is the name of the chapter. So I'm going to count the name of the chapters, and any time it repeats, I'm not going to count because it's going to be the same chapter. So we're going to count this. I'm going to count it in front of you so you can see the miracle live in front of yourself, right? So, but if it repeats, I'm not going to count it, right? Because it's the same chapter. So let's start counting. These are 5 pages where I'm going to go with you. One. What's going to happen is 1. This is the first one. Second. 3, 4. It stays at 4. It stays at 4 because it's the same name. 5, 6, 7, and we stay at 7 because it's the same chapter. 7, 7, 7. Then we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 9. No, it says 18. It's 18. 19, 20. It's the same name. Then 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. 28. So we've got 28 mentions, 28 chapters that contain the name Nuh. Exactly 28 chapters of the Quran that contain the name Nuh. Guess what? The chapter of Nuh has exactly 28 verses. Will you believe it? But that's not it. Did you know that this search turned out the results in the order of the chapters, right? In the correct order, like it's in the right order, right? So if you can see, we've got the first chapter that contains the name Noah is Ali Imran, then Nisa, then An'am, Araf, so on and so forth. The last chapter that contains the name Noah is the last result in this search, which is Nuh, the chapter of Nuh, which is chapter number 71. That means after 71 till the last chapter of the Quran, which is chapter number 114, let's subtract. How many chapters are there? It's exactly 114 minus 71. Let's go here. 114 minus 71. What do you get? You get 43. Guess what, guys? You have which is actually the number of times the name Noah is repeated in the Quran. So guess what? You have exactly 43 chapters after the chapter of Noah that do not contain the name Noah, right? Because we said that Noah is the last chapter that contains the name Noah. Nuh alayhi salam is the chapter of Nuh is the last chapter that contains the name Nuh. So you have 43 chapters after this chapter that do not contain the name Nuh. Now let's see how many chapters before Nuh contain the name Nuh. It's obvious that before 71 we have 71 chapters till 71, right? So how many do contain the name Nuh? We just counted them. There are 28. So 71 minus 28 is exactly 43. There are 43 chapters before the chapter of Noah that do not contain the name Noah, and there are exactly 43 chapters after the chapter of Nuh that do not contain the name Nuh. So how many do exactly contain the name Nuh? Exactly 28, which is number of verses. Can you believe it? 28. So let me repeat it here, right, to get everything together. There are 43 times we have the name Nuh mentioned in the Quran, which is exactly 71 minus 28, which is 43. Where do we get 71 and 28 from? 71 is the chapter number of the chapter Nuh, and 28 are the verses it contains, right? 28 verses. Let me just zoom in so you can see it, right? It's 28 right here, right? You can see it, 28. This is amazing, but as amazing as it is, we counted that there are exactly 28 chapters that contain the name Nuh, and that's amazing because not only do 28 chapters contain the name Nuh, the chapter of Nuh also had 28 verses. That is so amazing. And then we saw 114 minus the total number of chapters in the Quran, 114 minus 71, which gives us exactly 43. We have exactly 43 chapters after the chapter of Nuh that do not contain the name Nuh, and we said there are 28 chapters that do. So before 71 we have 71 minus 28, which is exactly 43. So 43 chapters before the chapter of Nuh do not contain the name Nuh. 43 chapters after the chapter of Nuh do not contain the name Nuh, and exactly 20, which is, by the way, the number of times the name Nuh occurs in the Quran. And we have exactly 28 chapters that do contain the name Nuh, which is a number of verses in the chapter of Nuh. Now, as amazing as it is, what makes it super amazing is, if you come here, every time you see the mention of Nuh, it's not randomly mentioned. If I hover over it to see the translation, see, we sent Noah to his people, saying, warn your people, and the story continues, right? It's not randomly mentioned. It's every time it's mentioned purposefully, right? Noah said to his people, "O Lord, my Lord, indeed they have disobeyed me," etc., etc. So it's a message being given, right? And Noah said, "My Lord, do not leave upon the earth from among the disbelievers and an inhabitant." You can go to any translation, you see it will make sense, right? And if they deny you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so before them did the people of Noah and Ad and Thamud deny, right? There's always a message. We certainly sent Noah to his people, and he said, "O my people, worship Allah." So what I'm trying to say is, the Quran was revealed over about 23 years. There was no additions in the Quran in the last 1400 years. The words, the verses, the order remain exactly the same, and yet you have such a beautiful structure coming out. This cannot possibly be the work of a mortal being. This can only be divine, can only be from God, right? This is the first this is the main miracle, right? There's a small one here as well. If you go to the chapter of Noah itself, let me open up, right? So the name Noah, as I can show you here, contains 3 letters in the Arabic language, right? N, a Nun, Waw, Ha, with 3 letters. And as you can see in the chapter of Noah, you have exactly first, second, and the third word is Noah, right? And the first time the name Noah occurs in the Quran, as you can see in the search, let's go to the first page, occurs in chapter, let's read. The first time it occurs, let me refresh this page. First time it occurs is in chapter of Ali Imran. Let me show you. Ali Imran is chapter number 3 also, and the first time it occurs in verse number 33 as well. Yeah, that's a little small side note as well, but that's the main miracle. So you can see, this cannot possibly, how can somebody write a piece of literature and have such a beautiful mathematical perfection embedded in it? It's impossible. It's humanly impossible, right? This can all be the word of God, right? So with that, we'll end this session. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.